shit! Here we go again.
Fuck it!
Boom.
Sing, sing, sing!
I have a few confessions to make. I was vastly disappointed by Dark Souls 2. Its bosses and areas pale in comparison to its legendary predecessor in my opinion, and I can't stress enough that my disappointment in that game was made evident only by comparison, as it's by no means a bad game. I also never got around to owning a PS4, meaning that I never had the privilege of experiencing Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 3 just sort of never really landed on my radar in spite of people saying very positive things about it. And I also haven't played Sekiro, and with the PS5 still having the status of a mythical creature due to its scarcity, I also haven't been able to experience the Demon Souls remake. But you can make damn sure that I will be picking up Elden Ring come February 25th. No questions asked. I mean, look at it. Look at this video game. And in preparation for my journey to the lands between, I thought I'd dedicate the limited time I had playing video games to playing through Dark Souls for the umpteenth time, seeing how it just so happens to be one of my favorite video games of all time. A game that will forever and always hold up to close scrutiny, and still being able to instill a sense of fear, panic, triumph, defeat, and intrigue so many years later. It's almost criminal how good of a game Dark Souls is from a lore standpoint, as well as in terms of level design, art style, gameplay mechanics, boss battles. I mean, you can point to any one of its core elements and find little to nothing to complain about. But of course, you already know this. Probably because you've played it yourself 5 times through like I have, or because you have consulted many YouTube videos echoing similar sentiments. So the only thing that I can really do in this video is to simply offer you my retrospective of this masterful classic, and shed some light on how it affected me and continues to affect me close to 11 years after it first fell into my lap. I remember so much of this game vividly. I know individual points of ambush by heart and the contents of chests strewn about the world of Lordran. I can beeline it to certain bonfires and shortcuts like it's business per usual, and I know certain item locations like the back of my hand. And I can certainly remember the absolute cavalcade of bullshit that is the Capra Demon boss fight, or the archers posted up in Anor Londo that are still the bane of my existence more than a decade later.
Hey bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
In 2011, when Dark Souls first came out, editor-in-chief at the time at GameSpot, Kevin Van Ord, had this to say about Dark Souls in his original review.
Has a game ever consumed you to the point that it invaded your mind? Have you ever woken up from dreaming of this game only for that dream to turn into your waking thoughts and cravings? If not, prepare to play such a game.
And he was right. I've dreamt about Dark Souls multiple times, even going so far as having full-on fever dreams about individual boss fights that nearly gave me a hernia on my first playthrough because I didn't know how to beat them, or simply being tormented by some of the more, well, eerie parts about this game that still creep me the hell out to this day. If a nasty case of food poisoning was a video game level, then Blighttown would be that level and then some. And I'm pretty sure that trying to navigate this section with sweaty palms is the absolute closest I've gotten to experiencing a full-on panic attack while playing a video game. A sense of dread and terror that no other game has been able to curse me with to this extent, before or since. But when I think of Dark Souls, I don't think about its brutally punishing difficulty, its vague item descriptions, or that overwhelming sense of confusion that I felt my first time playing it. What I do think about is its incredible, larger-than-life boss battles, its wildly inventive enemy designs, the stunning architecture of Anor Londo, the unnerving trek through Sen's fortress and encounters so tense and nerve-wracking that I was physically exhausted by the time they were done and over with. Dark Souls is weird, peculiar, and strangely off-putting. A lot of its visual imagery impart a surreal sense of otherworldliness. NPC interactions are part charming and disturbing. Quiet, ominous whispers can be heard echoing throughout the Duke's archives, and musical cues are few and far between. It's less about what Dark Souls plays like and more about what it actually feels like. And it feels strange, but in a really bizarrely good kind of way. I mean, who are Ornstein and Smo, and what type of creature are they? How come these knights don't say a single word or make a single sound? I don't know anything about them, other than the fact that they really, really want to kill me. And where did this butterfly come from, and why is it quietly flying about firing projectiles at me? None of these questions are ever answered, and it's the lack of exposition that contributes to Dark Souls, just making me feel really, really uneasy. It's menacing and uninviting, at times even bordering on horrifying, yet I don't ever want to pull myself away from it. It also doesn't hurt either that the game is just really, really fun to play even in 2022. The superlative combat has a weighty, tactile feel to it, making each swing feel impactful and every backstab feel like a small victory in and of itself. And with unique movesets and attributes given to individual items, you're very much encouraged to carve out a build based on item properties and character stats, rather than simply based on item rarity. There are no set of loot drops that take priority over others. If I want to play a fire-casting, self-healing, fire sword-wielding knight, cosplaying as an in-game villain, then that's totally possible. But even better than the role-playing aspects in combat is the exploration. The locales you work your way through in this game are, in short, unforgettable. Though some areas aren't as interesting as others, they at the very least vary heavily in design, atmosphere, and layout. The Undead Burg might seem like a cookie-cutter fantasy environment at first, but it warps around and envelops itself in a way that is hugely rewarding. Sen's fortress is an unrelenting gauntlet through traps and unexpected ambushes. The Darkroot Garden is dimly lit and unforgiving, with the environment literally coming to life to kill you. And the painted world of Ariamis is a marvel of dark fantasy imagery, and the catacombs is just pure nightmare fuel. I fucking loathe this never-ending maze of haunted terrors that never let up for even half a second, elevating the horror aspects of this game to new heights. But is Dark Souls too difficult? This endless discussion of whether or not the game's difficulty is more of a barrier to entry than a legitimate part of the game rages on to this day. And in my opinion, the difficulty in this game is, for the most part, tuned to near perfection. Though some encounters boil down more to RNG than actual skill, the reality is that getting absolutely decimated in Dark Souls is part of what makes the game so terrifying to play. Losing copious amounts of precious souls for good is heart-wrenching, making you second-guess each and every single step you take, and happening upon a bonfire to rest up at and save some progress when you feel like you've been worn down mentally and physically results in you letting out a massive breath of relief. And it's no wonder that the bonfire has become such an iconic part of Dark Souls' identity and visual presentation. Succumbing to the harrowing plight of dying and resurrecting time and time again is just as much a gameplay mechanic as it is a storytelling instrument. You're the chosen undead after all, burdened with the task of rekindling the world's flame and restore its once lost glory, and doing so requires you to kill the very gods who claim this world from dragons. Or something like that, I don't know, I read a synopsis online and it seems to add up. The point is that giving up on Dark Souls due to the game being too difficult is a concept ingrained into the story itself. It's called hollowing, and with each boss defeated, with each bonfire kindled and companions summoned and humanity attained, you grow stronger, pushing you to fulfill your destiny as the chosen undead. So no, Dark Souls isn't too difficult. It's just unrelenting, cruel, and punishing, just like the circumstances your character find themselves in. Dark Souls is one of those one-of-a-kind experiences where playing it is the only way to understand its brilliance. You're not just fighting monsters and leveling up. You're unraveling a dark, decrepit world teeming with horrors waiting to kill you. You're constantly on edge and seconds away from being outmatched, yet the only way to achieve even a smidge of hope and progress is to push onward, no matter the risks you'll wither doing so. I could easily go into great detail about the online integration or the ever so elusive and mysterious covenants. But regardless, for a first-time player, the surprises are absolutely endless, and it still keeps me on my toes like few games can after all these years. From Software didn't just forge a masterpiece, they forged an entire genre of games. I played Dark Souls again to tide me over until Elden Ring releases this Friday, but like my own undead character drawn to the flame, I wound up falling in love with this dark fantasy epic all over again. If Elden Ring is even remotely in Dark Souls' ballpark in terms of quality, then consider it my game of the year 2022. And hopefully I'll have a review on that game up soon enough. If I can pull myself away from it, that is. Thank you for watching.